Dog won't stop sniffing at a park bench. What police found underneath shocked everyone. Max stopped abruptly, his ears pricked forward and body coiled like a spring ready to release. Officer Sarah Collins felt the sudden change in her canine partner's behavior through the tactical leash, a shift so subtle that only years of working together would have made it noticeable. The Belgian Malinois, typically precise and straightforward in his indications, was now displaying behavior she had never witnessed before. "Max, forward," Sarah commanded, her voice steady, masking growing unease. It was a typical fall morning in Atlanta's Piedmont Park, with the sun still low on the horizon and fog lazily dissipating between the trees. A routine patrol that was now taking an unpredictable turn. Max ignored the command. Instead, he began intensely sniffing at an seemingly ordinary park bench, one among dozens scattered throughout the park. Sarah scanned her surroundings. A few early morning joggers passed in the distance. An elderly woman fed pigeons near the lake, and a coffee vendor was starting to set up his cart. Nothing out of the ordinary. "Max, let's go." Her voice now carried a note of concern. In 5 years of partnership, Max had never disobeyed a direct command. The dog responded with a low whine, his paws lightly scratching at the bench's base. Sarah moved closer, studying the object more carefully. At first glance, it was just another weather-worn wooden bench, bearing some vandalism marks and moisture stains. But Max remained obstinate, focused on a specific spot under the seat. "What have you got, partner?" Sarah murmured, crouching down to examine more closely. Her trained fingers ran along the rough wooden surface, searching for something, anything, that would justify Max's unusual behavior. That's when she felt it, an almost imperceptible irregularity, a subtle difference in the wood's texture. The radio on her shoulder crackled. "K9 unit, what's your location? We've got a call in Sector 7. Sarah hesitated, her finger hovering over the response button. Years of police work told her to follow protocol, answer the call, maintain routine. But something deeper, something built over thousands of hours alongside Max, made her pause. "Dispatch, K9 unit at Piedmont Park. Possible situation developing, requesting a few minutes for investigation." "Copy that, K9. Keep us posted." With calculated movements, Sarah slid her fingers along the bench's side, following her instinct. Max watched intently, his accelerated breathing showing increasing agitation. Under the morning light, something caught her attention. Small tool marks, so well camouflaged they appeared to be natural wear and tear. "Atlanta Police Department," Sarah announced loudly, more for protocol than necessity. The park was still practically empty. She pulled out her tactical flashlight and illuminated the underside of the bench. Max barked once, sharp and urgent. The beam of light revealed what her fingers had suggested, a perfectly concealed compartment with nearly invisible hinges. Sarah felt her heart rate quicken. In her years of service, she'd learned that discoveries like this rarely ended in something simple. With procedure gloves already on, Sarah worked carefully to open the compartment. Max maintained maximum alertness, his eyes alternating between his partner and their surroundings. The mechanism yielded with a soft click. Inside, protected by a waterproof casing, was a set of documents and an electronic device the size of a credit card. Sarah photographed everything before touching, following evidence preservation protocol. As she examined the documents, her eyes widened. Coordinates, codes, dates. Everything pointed to something much bigger than a lucky find. "Dispatch, requesting immediate backup from Special Investigations Unit, code 279. Sarah noticed a sudden change in Max's behavior. The dog positioned himself in front of her, hackles raised, a low growl escaping his throat. Through years of training and shared experience, she recognized the signal. They weren't alone anymore. The sound of footsteps on wet grass reached her ears a second later. Sarah quickly secured the documents in a sealed evidence bag, her free hand moving instinctively to her holster. A male figure emerged from behind a cluster of trees, wearing casual athletic clothes, but his way of walking betrayed military training. "Beautiful morning for a walk in the park, isn't it, officer?" The voice was controlled, almost friendly, but Sarah sensed the implicit danger in every word. Max maintained his defensive posture, his muscles trembling slightly under his dark fur. Sarah knew this moment would change everything. What had started as a routine morning patrol had transformed into the beginning of something much bigger and potentially much more dangerous. As distant sirens announced the approach of requested backup, one certainty formed in her mind. She and Max had stumbled upon something that some people would kill to keep secret. The man took another step forward, his hands still casually in his jacket pockets. Max let out another growl, deeper this time. The morning air seemed to freeze between them, charged with tension and deadly possibilities. Sarah gently tightened her grip on Max's leash, a silent signal of their unshakable partnership. Whatever secret was hidden in that park bench, she knew there was only one way forward, and it would be alongside her most loyal partner. Two patrol cars screamed into view, their sirens cutting through the morning calm. The man in the athletic wear didn't flinch. If anything, his smile widened slightly. Sarah kept her eyes locked on him, one hand still resting on her holster, the other maintaining a firm grip on Max's leash. "Have a nice day, officer," the man said, backing away with practiced ease. "Give my regards to Lieutenant Morrison." He turned and walked away, his stride casual but purposeful. Sarah felt her blood run cold. Lieutenant Morrison was her direct supervisor. The fact that this stranger knew him couldn't be a coincidence. Max maintained his defensive stance until the man disappeared from view, then turned to Sarah with a questioning whine. "I know, buddy," she murmured, scratching behind his ears. "Something's very wrong here." Detective James Chen from Special Investigations jumped out of his unmarked car before it fully stopped, his weathered face creased with concern. "Collins, you okay?" "Yeah, we're good." Sarah handed him the sealed evidence bag. "But you need to see this." Chen examined the documents, his expression growing increasingly grave. "Where's the guy you reported?" "Gone. But Jim..." Sarah lowered her voice. "He mentioned Morrison by name." Chen's face hardened. He'd been on the force long enough to know that coincidences like that usually weren't coincidences at all. "Let's get this to the lab. And Sarah, watch your back." Back at the precinct, Sarah sat at her desk, trying to focus on her incident report while Max dozed at her feet. The morning's events kept replaying in her mind. Something about the man's confidence, the way he'd casually dropped Morrison's name. Her computer chimed. A new email. No sender, no subject. Sarah's cursor hovered over it for a moment before she clicked. "Good dogs know when to heel. Bad ones end up in the pound." Max's head snapped up suddenly, a low growl rumbling in his chest. Sarah turned to find Lieutenant Morrison standing in her doorway, his broad frame filling the space. "Collins, my office, now." Morrison's office was exactly what you'd expect from a 20-year veteran. Commendations on the walls, photos with politicians, the obligatory American flag in the corner. He gestured for Sarah to sit. Max positioned himself between them, earning a raised eyebrow from Morrison. "Heard you had an interesting morning," Morrison began, his tone carefully neutral. "Found something in the park?" "Yes, sir." "Detective Chen has the..." "I know where it is," Morrison cut her off. "Here's what's going to happen. You're going to forget about this morning. The documents are part of an ongoing federal investigation, above your pay grade." Sarah felt her jaw tighten. "Sir, with all due respect, the man at the park did nothing illegal," Morrison finished. "Just a morning jogger, right?" It wasn't a question. Sarah met his gaze, reading the warning there. After a moment, Morrison's expression softened slightly. "Look, Collins, you're a good officer, one of our best K9 handlers. Don't throw away your career chasing shadows. Sometimes things are better left alone." "Understood." "Understood, sir." Back at her desk, Sarah stared at the threatening email again. Max pressed his head against her leg, offering silent support. She reached down to scratch his neck, feeling the familiar comfort of his presence. Her phone buzzed. A text from Chen. "Lab results in. Meet me at Joey's, come alone. Sarah looked at Max, who was already watching her intently. What do you think, partner? Ready to chase some shadows? Max's tail wagged once, decisively. Sarah smiled, but it didn't reach her eyes. She had a feeling they were about to step into something much darker than shadows. As they left the precinct, neither Sarah nor Max noticed the small tracking device that had been attached to her car's undercarriage during their morning at the park. In a dimly lit room across town, a computer screen showed a blinking dot moving through Atlanta's streets, and the man from the park reached for his phone. "She's on the move," he said simply. "Should we proceed?" The voice that answered was cold and precise. "Follow the plan. And remember, the dog dies first." Joey's diner sat on the edge of downtown Atlanta, its neon sign flickering weakly in the late afternoon sun. Sarah parked 3 blocks away, her years of training kicking in as she scanned for surveillance. Max's alert posture told her he was doing the same. Inside, Detective Chen sat in the furthest booth, his back to the wall, a cup of coffee cooling untouched before him. His eyes darted to the door as Sarah slid into the seat opposite him. "You weren't followed," he stated rather than asked, noting Max's relaxed demeanor. "What did the lab find?" Sarah kept her voice low, matching the hushed atmosphere of the nearly empty diner. Chen pulled out his phone, sliding it across the table. On the screen was a photograph, grainy, black and white, taken from what appeared to be security footage. Sarah's breath caught in her throat. The timestamp read 03/15/2020. "That's," she started, her voice wavering. "Yeah," Chen confirmed. "That's Marcus, your old partner, the night he died." The image showed Marcus Reynolds, Sarah's former partner, meeting someone in what looked like a parking garage. The other figure was blurry, but Sarah could make out something being exchanged. "The documents you found this morning?" Chen continued, his voice barely above a whisper. "They're connected to what Marcus was investigating before he died. Remember Operation Ghostwatch?" Sarah felt her chest tighten. How could she forget? It was supposed to be a routine surveillance operation. Marcus had insisted on going alone that night, saying he had a confidential informant. The next morning, they found his body in the Chattahoochee River, ruled as an accidental drowning. Sarah had never believed it. "The official report said there was no operation that night," Sarah said, her knuckles white around her coffee cup. "They said Marcus was off duty." Max whined softly, sensing her distress. He pressed closer to her leg, offering silent comfort. Sarah reached down to touch his head, drawing strength from his presence. "Look at this." Chen pulled out another photo, this one from the documents found in the park bench. Same location, different angle, taken this week. The similarity was undeniable. Same parking garage, same corner, same type of exchange, but something else caught Sarah's eye. "The briefcase," she pointed. "It's identical." "Exactly. Whatever Marcus discovered 4 years ago, it's still happening, and someone in the department is protecting it." The waitress approached their table. Chen quickly slid the photos away, ordering more coffee. Sarah noticed his hand trembling slightly as he lifted his cup. "There's more," he said, after the waitress left. "Remember how they found traces of ketamine in Marcus's system? The department claimed he must have been using." Sarah nodded, the bitter memory rising like bile in her throat. That accusation had tainted Marcus's reputation, haunting his widow and young son even after his death. "The electronic device you found this morning? It's a ledger, heavily encrypted, but our tech guy managed to crack a small portion. It's a shipping manifest. One of the items listed? Pharmaceutical-grade ketamine coming through the port of Savannah." Sarah's mind raced. "You think they drugged him? Made it look like a dirty cop who got in too deep and died by accident?" "Yeah." Chen's eyes darted to the door as new customers entered. "But here's the kicker. The manifest is dated next week. Whatever this operation is, it's still active. And now you and Max are on their radar." Max's ears suddenly pricked forward, his body tensing. A second later, Sarah's phone buzzed. An unknown number. "Missing your old partner? Keep digging, and your new one will meet the same end." Through the diner's window, Sarah caught a glance of a familiar figure in athletic wear walking past, talking on his phone. Their eyes met briefly before he disappeared into the crowd. "Jim," Sarah's voice was steel now, all traces of emotion locked away. "Tell me everything you know about Lieutenant Morrison's involvement with Operation Ghostwatch." Chen hesitated, then pulled out one final document. Morrison wasn't always in K9. Before 2020, he ran the Port Authority Task Force. And his signature, it's on every shipping manifest from Savannah during the months leading up to Marcus's death. Max growled softly, his eyes fixed on something outside the diner. Sarah followed his gaze to see a black SUV with tinted windows pulling up to the curb. "Time to go," Chen said, quickly gathering the documents. "Sarah, Marcus was like a brother to me. Whatever you do next, just be careful. They already killed one partner. Don't let them take another." As Sarah and Max slipped out the diner's back door, her mind was already formulating a plan. She had buried one partner, lived with the guilt and unanswered questions for 4 years. She glanced down at Max, his loyal eyes meeting hers with unwavering trust. "Not this time," she whispered, her hand finding the familiar comfort of his fur. "This time, we finish what Marcus started." In her pocket, her phone buzzed again. Another message. "The thing about ghost stories, Officer Collins, sometimes they come back to haunt you." The port of Savannah loomed before them in the pre-dawn darkness, a maze of shipping containers stretching as far as the eye could see. Sarah killed the engine of her unmarked car, borrowed from Chen, and checked her watch. 4:17 a.m. Max sat alert in the passenger seat, his breath fogging the window. "I know this isn't exactly by the book," Sarah whispered, double-checking her tactical vest. Max's eyes never left her face. "But we're way past doing things by the book." The manifest they'd discovered had listed this morning's shipment. 4 containers, arriving on the cargo ship Meridian Star, scheduled for immediate transfer to unmarked trucks. Sarah had memorized the container numbers, knowing they'd only get one shot at this. Her phone buzzed. "Chen, Morrison's on the move. Multiple vehicles heading your way. Get out now." But Sarah didn't move. Through her binoculars, she could see the activity at the dock increasing. A familiar figure in a Port Authority uniform stepped into view. The man from the park. He was directing workers with practiced efficiency, pointing to specific containers. "There's our ghost," Sarah muttered. Max's ears pricked forward at the tension in her voice. A sharp crack echoed across the water, a gunshot. Sarah instinctively ducked as her passenger window exploded inward. Max barked once, sharp and urgent. They were surrounded. "Atlanta PD, drop your weapons," Morrison's voice boomed through a megaphone. "Collins, it's over. Come out slowly." Sarah's mind raced. The evidence was on her phone. Photos, documents, the encrypted data Chen had decoded. But even if she could get it out, who could she trust? The corruption clearly went higher than Morrison. Max suddenly went rigid, his attention fixed on something through the windshield. Sarah followed his gaze and felt her heart skip. Through the maze of containers, she caught a glimpse of movement. Someone running, carrying what looked like the same briefcase from the surveillance photos. "What do you say, partner?" Sarah looked at Max, seeing the same determination in his eyes that she felt. One last run. In a fluid motion, she threw open her door, releasing Max's tactical harness. "Find him, boy!" Max shot out of the car like a bullet, with Sarah close behind. Gunshots rang out, but they were already weaving through the containers, following a path only Max could track. "Collins!" Morrison's voice echoed off metal walls. "Don't make me do this!" The chase led them deeper into the port complex. Sarah's tactical training kicked in as she moved from cover to cover, trusting Max's lead. The dog moved with silent efficiency, his nose never losing the scent despite the maze-like environment. They rounded a corner to find their quarry, the man from the park, trying to climb a stack of containers. The briefcase slipped from his grasp, clattering to the ground. As he reached for it, Max launched forward. "Call off your dog!" the man shouted, drawing a weapon. "Last chance." Time seemed to slow. Sarah saw his finger tightening on the trigger, saw Max in mid-leap, completely exposed. Without conscious thought, she threw herself forward. The gunshot was deafening in the confined space. Max's jaws found their target, bringing the man down hard. The gun skittered across the concrete as Sarah fought through searing pain in her shoulder, forcing herself up to secure the suspect. "Sarah!" Chen's voice. Running footsteps. "We got Morrison. DEA's moving in." "You okay?" She didn't answer immediately, her attention fixed on Max. The dog stood over their subdued suspect, but something was wrong. His stance was off, and in the growing dawn light, Sarah could see blood matting his dark fur. "Max?" Her voice cracked. "Max, come here!" He took one step toward her and stumbled. "No!" Sarah breathed, scrambling to her partner. "No, no, no! Stay with me, buddy!" "Stay with me!" Max's eyes found hers, filled with the same unwavering trust she'd seen every day for 5 years. He tried to wag his tail, but the movement was weak. In the distance, sirens wailed. Chen was shouting into his radio for medical support. The suspect was laughing softly despite his injuries. "Told you bad dogs end up in the pound," he wheezed. Sarah barely heard him. She cradled Max's head in her lap, her own injury forgotten, feeling his breathing grow more labored. "Don't you dare," she whispered fiercely. "Don't you dare leave me, not you too, please." The sky was turning pink over the port of Savannah as emergency vehicles converged on their location. Sarah Collins held her partner, her protector, her friend, praying she hadn't just traded one ghost for another. The veterinary emergency room at Blue Pearl was a blur of activity. Sarah paced the waiting area, her own bandaged shoulder throbbing in time with her racing heart. Max's blood still stained her uniform. "Officer Collins?" Dr. Martinez emerged from the treatment area, her face carefully neutral. "He's stable, but critical. The bullet missed his heart, but there's significant internal bleeding. We're prepping him for surgery now." Sarah felt her knees weaken. Chen caught her arm, helping her to a chair. "He's strong," Dr. Martinez continued. "One of the strongest canines I've treated, but the next few hours will be crucial." Sarah's phone buzzed, a text from an unknown number. Her hands shook as she read it. "Shame about your dog, but there's still time to walk away. Some stories are better left untold." Chen read the message over her shoulder. "They're scared," he said quietly. "The DEA raid found more than just drugs. There were documents, financial records. This goes way beyond Morrison." Sarah looked up sharply. "What do you mean?" "The Port Authority's been compromised for years. Morrison was just middle management. The real power." Chen glanced around and lowered his voice. "It goes all the way up to the police commissioner's office." The pieces suddenly clicked into place. That's why Marcus's investigation was buried, why they had to discredit him. Exactly. But here's the thing, the documents you found, they're not just shipping manifests. They're insurance, names, dates, payoffs. Morrison kept records of everything. A new voice cut through their conversation, which makes them incredibly valuable to the right people. Sarah turned to see Police Commissioner Hayes standing in the doorway, still immaculate in his tailored suit despite the early hour. 2 plainclothes officers flanked him. "Commissioner?" Chen started to stand, but Hayes waved him down. "Please, stay seated. Officer Collins, I came as soon as I heard about your partner. Tragic situation." His smile didn't reach his eyes. "I understand you've had quite a morning." Sarah felt the weight of the encrypted phone in her pocket, the one containing copies of all Morrison's records, which she'd managed to transfer during the chaos at the port. One copy had already been sent to Chen's DEA contacts, set to release automatically if anything happened to either of them. "Yes, sir," she replied carefully. "Just doing my job. Admirable. But sometimes..." Hayes settled into a chair across from them, his guards positioning themselves by the doors. "Sometimes doing our job means knowing when to let things go. Your former partner, Officer Reynolds, never learned that lesson." Sarah's hands clenched into fists. Through the treatment area doors, she could hear the medical team prepping Max for surgery. The same team that had worked on Marcus 4 years ago, unable to save him. "With all due respect, sir," Sarah's voice was steel, "I think it's time we stopped letting things go." Hayes's pleasant expression hardened. "That sounds like a threat, Officer Collins." No, sir, that sounds like justice. She pulled out her phone, showing him the screen. Everything's already out there, every record, every payment, every cover-up. Marcus kept copies too, didn't he? That's why you had to move against him. But you missed one, the one he left with his wife, set to release upon his death. It just took us this long to decrypt it. The color drained from Hayes' face. One of his men reached inside his jacket. I wouldn't, Chen said calmly, his own weapon already drawn beneath his jacket. DEA agents are surrounding this building as we speak. The treatment room doors burst open. We need Officer Collins, Dr. Martinez called urgently. It's Max. He's crashing. Sarah stood, her eyes locked with Hayes. You killed my partner 4 years ago. You tried to kill this one today. No more. Hayes' mask finally cracked, rage seeping through. You have no idea what you're doing. The people I work for will be very interested in your cooperation, a new voice interrupted. Federal agents were flooding the waiting room, badges out. Commissioner Hayes, you're under arrest. Sarah barely registered Hayes being led away in handcuffs, or Chen explaining how they'd finally gathered enough evidence to move on the entire network. Her world had narrowed to the treatment room doors, beyond which her partner was fighting for his life. Please, she whispered, following Dr. Martinez inside. Not him too. Not today. On the operating table, surrounded by medical equipment and desperate activity, Max's chest rose and fell with mechanical precision. His powerful body, which had saved her life mere hours ago, looked suddenly vulnerable under the harsh lights. Sarah took his paw in her hand, leaning close to his ear. Stay with me, partner, she whispered. We're not done yet. We got them, all of them. Marcus can rest now, but I need you to fight. Please fight. The monitors beeped steadily as Dr. Martinez's team worked. Outside, the sun was rising over Atlanta, casting long shadows through the windows. In the distance, news helicopters circled the port where a 4-year-old conspiracy was finally unraveling. But in that operating room, time stood still as Sarah Collins held her partner's paw, waiting to learn if solving one ghost story meant creating another. 6 weeks later, Sarah sat on the same park bench where it all began. The morning air was crisp, carrying the first hints of winter. She ran her fingers over the worn wood, now just an ordinary bench again. Its secrets exposed, its hidden compartment long since removed as evidence. The media storm had finally begun to die down. Commissioner Hayes and 14 other high-ranking officials were facing federal charges. Morrison had taken a plea deal, his meticulous record-keeping proving invaluable to the prosecution. The port's security had been completely overhauled, and Marcus's widow had received both a formal apology and a full pension. But none of that was why Sarah had come here today. The sound of paws on grass made her look up. Max trotted toward her, his gait still slightly favoring his left side, but growing stronger each day. The scar beneath his thick fur was healing well, just like the one on Sarah's shoulder. Behind him, Dr. Martinez followed with a clipboard and a smile. Final checkout, the vet announced. His latest scans are clear and his physical therapy progress is remarkable. I'd say he's ready. Sarah felt her throat tighten as Max reached her, resting his head on her knee, their morning ritual, unchanged by everything they'd been through. She scratched behind his ears, feeling the familiar warmth of his presence. You sure? Sarah asked, not taking her eyes off her partner. He's not pushing too hard. He's a miracle dog, Dr. Martinez said simply. We almost lost him twice on that operating table, but he fought his way back. I think he knew exactly what he had to live for. Max's tail wagged at the praise, and Sarah could have sworn he looked proud. The memory of those endless hours in the veterinary hospital still haunted her. The beeping monitors, the whispered consultations, the moment they finally told her he would survive. Officer Collins, a small voice interrupted her thoughts. A young boy, maybe 12, stood nearby with his mother. Sarah recognized them immediately, Marcus's family. Tommy, Sarah smiled. Mrs. Reynolds, thank you for coming. We wanted to see him, Jenny Reynolds said softly. The hero dog who helped finish what Marcus started. Max studied the newcomers curiously. Tommy held out his hand, and after a glance at Sarah for permission, Max gently nuzzled it. "Dad would have liked him," Tommy said, his young face serious. "Mom says Dad always knew the truth would come out someday." "He did," Sarah agreed. "Your dad was the bravest person I ever knew. He taught me that sometimes being a good cop means asking hard questions, even when everyone tells you to stop." Jenny wiped away a tear. "Marcus would be proud of you, Sarah. Of both of you." Dr. Martinez quietly excused herself, leaving the small group by the bench. Tommy had produced a tennis ball from his pocket, and Max's eyes tracked it with professional interest. "Can I?" Tommy asked. Sarah unclipped Max's leash. "Go ahead." They watched as boy and dog played on the morning grass. Max's speed was returning, his joy in the simple game evident in every movement. Looking at him now, you'd never know how close they'd come to losing him. "We're having a small ceremony," Jenny said. "They're adding Marcus's name to the memorial wall next week. We'd love for you and Max to be there." "We wouldn't miss it," Sarah replied, her hand unconsciously touching her shoulder where the bullet had struck. The bullet meant for Max, just as she'd known it would be when she jumped in front of him. Her phone buzzed. A message from Chen. Another case, if she was ready. Sarah looked at Max, now sitting attentively at her feet, tennis ball in mouth, waiting for their next move. "What do you say, partner? Ready to get back to work?" Max dropped the ball and stood, every inch the professional despite his recent ordeal. His eyes met hers with the same trust, the same unwavering loyalty that had helped crack a 4-year-old conspiracy and bring down a criminal empire. Sarah clipped his leash back on, feeling the familiar rightness of their connection. They'd been through hell together, faced death and corruption and ghosts from the past. But they'd emerged stronger, their bond tested by fire and proven unbreakable. "Let's go catch some bad guys," she said. Max's answering bark echoed across Piedmont Park as they walked away from the bench that had started it all. Behind them, the morning sun cast their shadows on the path, officer and K9, partners, guardians, friends, moving forward together into whatever challenges awaited. Some stories, after all, deserve to be told. Some truths demand to be uncovered. And some partnerships transcend everything life throws at them, emerging not just surviving, but triumphant. Tommy waved goodbye, holding his mother's hand. "See you at the ceremony." Sarah and Max turned back briefly, silhouetted against the rising sun. In that moment, she could have sworn she felt Marcus's presence, finally at peace, watching his legacy live on through the unshakable bond between a dedicated officer and her loyal K9 partner. The park bench stood empty now, just one among many, but its story, their story, would be remembered, not as a ghost story, but as a testament to loyalty, courage, and the enduring power of partnership.